Did I do this right? Do I just request to speak? Is that all?
Yeah, man, he just did everything correctly.
Perfect. Just want to make sure I wasn't supposed to ask for something else.
No, no, you have to give me some money now.
Oh, damn, this is a paid thing?
Yeah, man, didn't I tell you? Well, welcome, dude. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This is fun.
We're excited.
How's the weather down where you are?
It's like hot, super hot, man. Yours? Are you any tornadoes?
Well, starting tomorrow, it actually starts to drop like pretty intensely, but I feel like it happens later and later. Like,
You know, you're in Oklahoma, right?
yeah.
So I remember a friend had like this really bad snowstorm like 2 years ago or something like that.
A what storm?
A snowstorm?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, that was insane. My whole yeah, like, houses were out of power, I didn't have power for, like, a week. Yeah.
Did, seriously?
It was totally crazy. It was very
That's wild.
unexpected too. Yeah.
And does it usually get like that? Like snow?
No. No, no, not really. When I was younger, yeah, but now it's like it's not the fun kind of snow, it's like the not so fun kind, if if that makes sense. It's like
It's like slushy and gross or
it's
whatever.
yeah, it's gross instantly. It's like, it's really icy more so than, like,
Oh
that
God.
the beautiful snow, so
Wow. Don't worry. Today we're not gonna have any snowy days.
yeah, I don't think so. Looking out the window, I'm thinking we're in the clear.
If we are, then I didn't jinx you, okay? Right, man. How about can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you stumbled into VP in the community?
Yeah, so I guess, like, my background from when I was young was just in, like, performing, so I did a lot of theater, and then when I got to college, I thought I wanted to do theater, but then I was like, I don't think so. So I went into film, and and then through that I kind of like sort of stumbled into photography as well. And then it was like right as I was graduating, which was 2020, and it was like the middle of the pandemic, and I was engaged to my now wife, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I should probably, I really need to get a job, like for real. So then that's when I made my like side business of like doing like wedding and whatnot, that I still do today. Is still on the side. It's not like my full time thing. But then through all that, I was like interested in virtual photography. Like I think Mad Max on the PS4 was like the first game I was like, oh, a photo mode, like what is this? um and ever since that game I've just been like doing it. The funny thing is I even after I made my YouTube channel and my first video was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, um I did not realize the size and scale of this community. Like I was so naive. I really was like, man, it's probably me and like five other randos taking photos. Like this is so underground. And then it wasn't until I
Yeah.
got on Twitter that I was like, oh my gosh, this is humongous. There's like thousands of people doing this. Um, which I was really encouraged about because like, it's just nice to see other people, and it's so inspiring to see other people because um it, you see such amazing work that or people are doing things you're not even thinking about, and I don't know, I just love that. And I was just so like uplifted because I kind of, not that I was like ashamed of it, but I was kind of like, man, like no one really is into this the way I am. No one, whatever. But it's just so funny how like
It's all love. Yeah.
I I just crack up that I made an entire video and an entire YouTube channel and didn't even think to like type in on Google like photo mode you know what I mean? Like there's so many people out there. So yeah.
But that's so cool because I think all of us stumble upon that kind of stuff where it's like I think I'm the only one. And then you're like, oh no, oh,
Hmm.
look at all this. But it's so encouraging because you're like, oh, now there's like a whole community where they could get me, right?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it really is, and it's very cool, and I feel like I see new people, on my feed every day that I'm like, oh, sweet, like here's a new person who feels like confident and comfortable posting stuff, and I just love that. And I have found for the most part, um, well, I say for the most part, pretty much from my experience, for all my experience, people have just been so kind, and like it. I know some people have like made comments about other things, but from what I've experienced, at least as far as what I'm engaging with, um, there's just so many cool people who I've messaged between other people, and like people are open about like their process, and I just love that. And yeah, it's great.
I love it too because whenever I first joined it, I never felt so welcomed, you know? So I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And Mad Max, right? I wanted to bring this up because that was actually I like the photo mode. I know it's kind of old, but
Hmm.
I do like what it did, and the pictures of the desert was really pretty.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you have if you have any pictures, I'll put it in the comments, by the way.
Oh man. There was like a big. I've now gotten so like intense about my archiving process, but like when I was taking pictures on PS4 and then when I switched to 5, um, I think I think a lot of my stuff just got completely lost. Um,
Oh, no, really?
however, I do know that like you remember on PS4 how like they had like, and they still do on PS5, but I don't think people really use it so much. But you could like post directly to Twitter, like when it was like with the hashtag, like I don't even remember. It was like PS4. I don't even know.
Oh,
But I
yes, it
remember
was. Yeah.
I tried that out and I posted straight to Twitter. So on my old Twitter that I don't even know if I have access to, I've got that. I can maybe try and find it, but yeah, we'll see.
Cool, cool. Well, hey, since I see Shinobi, hey, Shinobi, I know he asked some questions. How about we get to them? What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great. And also, Shinobi was pretty much the reason I even found Twitter because I made a Deathloop video, and Shinobi was like, "Hey, I helped with that. Thanks for that." And I was like, "Oh wow!" And
Dude, yes.
and then I
It's one
came
of the
over
best photo
and
modes.
yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, like my video, I'm just like gushing the whole time. So yeah, shout out Shinobi. Thank you for being my
Listen,
bridge.
he said, your bridge said, did you start your channel as a photo mode reviewer or did you evolve into that direction?
Yeah, yeah, I did start the channel as a photo mode review. Like my first video was Valhalla, and it was I think it was called photo mode review Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and so I've just kind of continued from there. And I did make it with the intention of, um, again, this was like before I even knew anyone was interested in this kind of thing the way I was. So I
Mhm.
really made it with the intention of like this is going to be a way for me to be creative on like a weekly basis, because sometimes I can get like in a slump and just be like, oh, like I just want to chill and do nothing. But I'm like, oh, I should keep my editing and the creative stuff going. So I made it solely for like I told myself like if this gets no views ever, just keep doing it as long as you're having a good time. And so, but I've been really surprised with people stopping by and sharing their comments about photo modes or design. And so yeah, and the channel's kind of evolved just a little bit. Like I've done some more general videos, but all of my videos have a focus on like design aesthetics, visuals, and obviously if the game has a photo mode, I'll talk about that. And if it doesn't have a photo mode, I do always say add a freaking photo mode because every game should have one.
Right? Just because of it just, I think for now, whenever they put a photo mode, it just brings longevity to the game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I know people have said it a million times, but it is just like free marketing. And I don't I don't know why not every game doesn't just have even the most rudimentary one. And especially, I don't know why games like that have had them, like God of War Ragnarok. What an absolute disappointment! I mean, I was so like they delayed it, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna go hard. It's gonna be like Ghost of Tsushima, and it was just the same thing, and it was terrible. And I was like, what are we doing? I don't know.
Funny though, because like for me, I don't like it, but I know people who made it work for them, and I'm like, it's like it's not that bad. I'm like, man, I like your spirit.
Ugh,
I don't.
yeah,
I told Malin, I'm like, look, I just want Kratos just to back up a little bit, and I don't want him to be
literally.
right close. I don't want him to be so close to the fucking screen.
I know. Oh God, it's so true.
But I totally get you though. Okay, since we're talking about photo mode, why not? What would be like your ideal photo mode?
Mm, ideal photo mode. Kind of probably just Ghost of Tsushima's. I mean, there. I wish Ghost of Tsushima maybe had slightly more range, although it has fairly good range. Don't get me wrong. I mean, basically what I'm saying is I want every photo mode just to have an unhinged range. Like just let it go loose. Like don't even have a range meter on it. Yeah, I like Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think anything has gotten close to. I love, and also again because with my film background, I really like video content, and so with the active environments in Ghost, I am just like that is such a interesting way to capture stuff. Um, and I don't think Ghost of Tsushima has actually lights. Does someone correct me if I'm wrong? Does Ghost have lights? I don't
Oh
think it
no,
does. No.
I think
So and
it just does weather right, something like that,
yeah,
and
yeah, time
time.
of day and wet. Yeah. So light, that's a funny thing. And if you've watched any of my videos for a little while, you'll know I have kind of like a maybe not popular opinion on lights. It's not that I don't like them, but I really don't care. I'm not interested in lights, and that goes the same way for my real life photography. I don't like lights. Um, I mean, sometimes they're needed, like in darker environments, like if you're absolutely like you cannot get the shot, but they add too much. They just to me like take too much time. And I know some people are really good and efficient. I'm just not. So I think it's a skill thing. But yeah, so I'm not really
Skill
interested in
issue.
lights. And I never really use them much unless like I don't know because I know for a fact if I open up the light menu, I'm going to be
Hmm.
taking that photo for like an hour and a half. And I'm like I can't I can't do it. I can't devote the time because I'll get so in the weeds. But I do
So, like,
really
how long does it take you
admire.
to do a picture?
Well, if I'm, it can vary. Like it's all like environmental. So like I'll sort of see a location and be like, okay, this is the spot. And I'll maybe take 45 minutes taking a bunch of photos in that spot. Um, but I like to whip around a lot and I like to get a bunch of different angles and then review them later and be like, okay, what works and which work in tandem. And so lights to me slow that like speed down. Because I could get one really good shot, like honing in on lights, but I'm like, I want a variety and I want to do it. I want to take that extra time to like get more shots, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. And I think I don't know. I think lights are more so. I think better with a portrait. I think than an environment.
Yeah, no, they certainly are. And like, I see so many people use light. I mean, especially Spider-Man. There's like so many unbelievable that honestly, Spider-Man is like one of those games where I admire it so much, but I barely do VP in it because I'm like, this is like this is not my realm, and I think because it's two things I don't do often, which I think is a lot of lighting, maneuvering, and action. I just don't do those too often, and I see people, and I'm like, God, this is amazing, and so yeah, yeah. Sorry, that was like way off a tangent from my dream photo mode, but yeah, all that to say, just lights are kind of not my thing.
Okay, we go off tangents. Mistress Light asks, what is the biggest challenge for you in taking screenshots?
Mm, biggest challenge. Well, hmm. Sorry, I'm like stumbling on this just because I guess I don't feel too like intimidated by it just because, and not to say that anyone else does. I didn't mean to sound like that. But because it's such a like personal thing, and you can do it on your own speed and time. I feel such like grace as compared to like real life photography or like weddings where I'm like we're on a timeline, we got to go. Challenge, maybe, I mean, maybe it is just like back to the lights, like I struggle with making you know customizable lighting shots look good. um and then on a personal level, I think a biggest challenge is like time sometimes because there's only so many hours in the day, and when I get up in the morning to like game for a little bit, I'll like sometimes be doing photo mode for like an hour, like no joke. And then I'm like, oh man, I haven't played any of the games. So the challenge can be I'm not finishing games because I'm so like stuck on it. Yeah. Another
That
thing
is such
is,
a VP thing.
I know, like for real, the backlog of a VPR is like unlike anything. Um, the other challenge too is, sorry, I've just completely forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, for like, so when I'm doing like YouTube videos, I make a lot of video content. I find sometimes it's very hard, depending on the game, to like get smooth movements for video shots. And this can apply to VP too, when you're like trying to get a close shot and like there's no precision button and your camera's just like whipping all over the place. So sometimes that can be like really hard. And then obviously for every VP, the perpetual neck pain you'll be in trying to take 90-degree photos. Tilting your head to the side, that's always a bit of a challenge.
You gotta work them neck muscles, dude.
For real. Yeah.
Dude, I know. I try. I wish there was a way. I mean, like the next photo mode, they would make like where you can just flip it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wish I can't believe no one's done it, but yeah, like a 90-degree button where it just like straight up changes, the screen. And I know they make aspect ratios, but that's not the same because you're not getting the same pixel count from, you know, cropping it compared to actually tilting the whole screen. So, yeah, I would love to see that added in a future photo mode from someone.
I agree. Tango asks, Tango VP, hello. Do you use another app to edit your photos after taking them in again?
Sorry, I just started coughing. One sec.
Don't die. I need you here.
No, I'm good. I think I just my coffee went down the wrong pipe. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that is the
Um,
worst. That's happened to me several times.
it's bad. Okay, was the question, what do I use to edit? What
Yeah,
app do
yeah.
I
What do
use?
you use to? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for photos,
yeah.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
sometimes use Lightroom, but I hate Adobe subscriptions, and I only have that because of work.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
um, I don't. I think, yeah, I hate Adobe. That the cost per month is very inaccessible, especially even just for like one app. Um, Other than that, I use this great app that I love called Teza, Tez. Oh,
Can
oh
you
yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you now. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't need to pause the whole thing.
Okay. No, no. So you could keep on with your whenever that happens. Sometimes it might. It's just my
Oh,
internet
okay.
sometimes. Anyways, Tezza, right?
Yeah, Tezza. I love it. And the filters too, though, I should add.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Do I sound like a robot?
No, you sound good to me.
Okay. If I ever do, just let me know. And I'll hand it to you, and then I'll come back. But anyway, what was the last thing you said,
Oh, I
Jack?
just wanted to mention that Tesla, the app, has like a cost for certain features too. I just want to always be transparent about that. You
Okay.
know, because not everyone has the access to that.
You ever use, or have you ever used Snapseed?
No, I haven't. I've like heard about it, but what is it? Is it an editing app or is it like a collection tool or both?
Yeah, man. It's an editing app, and it's when I first started to edit things, and I didn't want to pay for nothing. I just used that. And it has everything. I don't know if it's upgraded or it's um like it doesn't mess up the pixelation, but you can upload on PNG.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, yeah, and whenever you do, tell me what you think because I think it does have a lot of the tools that you need to start. Because I use that sometimes, but of course I use Lightroom
Yeah.
and I use PixArt. You ever use
No, I
PixArt?
haven't. PixArt.
Mm-hmm. So PixArt, it's like it's like you can edit different things in there too, like rain and
Oh, okay. So kind of a creative
snow.
suite. That's cool.
Oh yeah, dude. Like if you ever like sometimes I'll put in I don't know, like a shooting star
That's cool. Wow.
or a raven and Valhalla. Dude, it you can make that thing work for you if you want to.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff, and not to like derail into this, but I just want to say because I know there's been like I've seen like on my for you page or whatever some talk about like how much can you edit, how much can you not, but that kind of creative editing, I just see it as like another branch of virtual photography, and I love that kind of stuff. Anything that someone can do that is not like um I guess just like straight up having AI do it. Like anything you were manually doing with creative tools, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like when it comes to that stuff, I don't care how people do it, as long as you have
Yeah.
fun. Who are we to police like that,
Right.
right?
Yeah. I agree.
That's what I think. Oh, Shinobi said someone did make the flip thing for vertical lush foil photography sim,
Oh,
and someone might do it again soon.
that's good to know though that it's out there. That's a PC game, I assume. Or is it not?
I'm not
This
too
is
sure.
on PlayStation. How did because I know what he's talking about, but I thought this was not on PlayStation. I'll check. That's great though. I would love to see more, you know, people look at that and be like, okay, yeah, let's add that in.
Right? Like, but I suspect that things will just get better over time. I'm pretty optimistic. What about you?
Um, I don't know. I might be less optimistic. I do think more photo modes are being added, but I haven't quite seen the like innovation, like looking at other studios that I would have liked to. I mean, even in like within internal studios, and again, I'll bring up God of War Ragnarok. I think that photo mode is just a complete travesty of. It's just such a It is absolutely awful, and I think I'm so angry about it because I love Ragnarok. It was my game of the year. I have both God of War collector editions. Like I love God of War. That game like really touched me. Um, but how can you look at a game like Ghost of Tsushima within your own, you know, uh, wing of like Sony owns both of them, and not say let's just take those ideas and let's step it up. And Ubisoft is a great example too, where it's like, why has the photo mode been the same forever? And like, I don't know. I would like to see more like studios just like, take inspiration from others and incorporate some more interesting ideas. But I don't know how they look at how photo mode is like a good investment or not. I think it is, but I don't know how they look at it.
No, they should just get somebody like Shinobi and be like, do something,
I
Shinobi.
know. Well, yeah, and Deathloop was like, oh man, this took a lot of the things that were really popping off in the photo mode world and brought them in, like range, like lights, like posing, all this cool stuff. And so, yeah, I would like to see that more.
Because, if they put more photo mode stuff, more tools to it, people won't really deviate towards editing. I'm pretty sure some people would, right? But like, or doing tools and things like that, because every tool would be there. But I doubt that would, I don't know if we'll ever get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I, I would love that, but you know, I'm sure.
By the way, I love tools and edits and things like that. I just would love to have everything done, like have everything in there in the photo mode.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, it'd be nice to have like a standard across the board, but I don't. That's hard with different engines and different studios.
You're like, that's why I'm not optimistic.
Yeah, right. So.
Okay, here I know we have a couple more questions into that other TPM comic section. Let me take that real quick. How do you feel so far, by the way?
Feel great. Feel
Awesome,
great.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, yeah. How long does it take to make a photo mode review usually?
Hmm. I'm trying to think of like the whole process. I have to get the content, which is hard to judge just because I'm playing and I'm recording things as they happen. Um, I don't know though. That might be like 5 to 10 hours, but that's a little less like intensive just because it's organically happening while I'm playing. Um, and if I start doing using photo mode, I'll record that to like show how it works in the video. Um, and then I have to go through this awfully complex process of getting the video, because when you record in 4K on the PlayStation, it saves it as a freaking WebM file or WebP file. Um, and so I have to
Okay.
so I have to get that off my console. Well, first, okay, I have to edit all the photos, the videos together, get it off my console onto a hard drive, put that onto my computer, open up Handbrake, which is like a video uh, transfusion. It like makes it a different file type. Turn it into uh, a usable like .mov or MP4 file, and then I start the editing process, which is me writing and I don't know. Honestly, now that I'm talking about it all, it's quite a bit of time, but I really enjoy it, and again, I think it keeps my editing sharp, um, just because it's like, it's just practicing every week on new edits and how to make things better, and I learn a lot doing it, and it helps with my work editing too. So, like my full-time job at the museum or when I do weddings, so I get a lot of benefit out of it. It may be like 20 or 30 hours, but again, a lot of that is just like in the game.
Jesus,
It's in the
yeah.
game, so that sounds like, oh my god, but it's a, it's fun, and b, a lot of it is just like getting the content, which is just playing games. So that that's not a challenge. That's just fun.
By the way, you do have a knack for it. I was listening to your reviews and I'm like, wow, like the way you get right into it and explain things. And you have the perfect voice for it, by the way. Just
Well,
want to let
thank
you
you.
know.
I'm so glad to hear that. Sometimes I listen to it back and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
man, like sometimes I sound way too high pitched or something.
no, not to
Okay,
me,
good.
dude. I feel like you're all right. Sure.
I'll like listen
Yeah,
back and I'm
keep doing
like,
what
hey
you're doing
guys, and
and
I'm like, oh my gosh, who is that? Mm.
You don't do that, bro.
Okay,
So you're
okay.
good. I think that's we're just critical of ourselves, right? But no, I promise you, I like what you're doing, and I hope
Thank
you keep
you.
doing it because I want to. I actually would love to see how you're flustered. So I'll listen to the like God of War one.
Yeah, go listen to that God of War one. I'm quite unhappy. Yeah.
So, are there any, Shinobi says, are there any new projects that are planned on your channel? I noticed more opinion formats recently.
Yeah. Yeah, I've kind of like I said, I made the channel in the first place just completely for me. That I was just like, if people watch, cool. If it's just me making it, cool. So I wanted to stick to that and not get too like bogged down and doing things, you know. So I really every week I'm just kind of like, what, or every 2 weeks because sometimes I'm busy and can't do it every week. But you know, I'm just kind of like looking and thinking like, what am I interested in? You know, I recently did this one on Astrobot, and like it was much more of a general thing. Although I did talk about Astrobot's dinky little photo mode that they have in there. So again,
Thank
all
you.
of my videos have some degree of like photo mode discussion or design discussion because I'm interested in both those things, and they go hand in hand. Yeah, I think I'll just keep kind of talking about what interests me. I think the next video I have coming up is going to be about Fortnite, actually, the capture tool in Fortnite. So yeah,
The one that does photo mode or something?
or in Fortnite. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they've got like a it's very like kind of convoluted. You have to like go into a replay, but the tool to capture shots is actually really good, and the depth of field is very beautiful in that game. So yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do a little video on Fortnite.
Tango asks, what game are you most or what game are you guys most anticipating?
Oh, like coming up, yeah, yeah, I don't know what else that would mean.
Yeah, yeah,
um, Most
yeah.
anticipating. Oh my gosh. Maybe Death Stranding 2. I love Death Stranding. Um, that's like one of my favorite games ever.
Loved your video on that too, by the way.
Yeah, what a fascinating thing they're adding there. I'm very excited to see how that works. Yeah, Death Stranding. I'm also this game's like technically already out in like an early access type of thing, but on October 21st, and this my video I think 2 weeks ago was Wayfinder. It's like this new. Well, no, it's not new. It's been out for a while, but they were like it was going to be an MMO, but then they made it. They brought it back, and they were like, no, you actually we're going to make it a single player. And anyway, I played. I got it on PlayStation and played a couple hours, and I was just really digging it. Has a really great art direction too. Um, yeah, I'm really excited about that. Death Stranding. Yeah. And then any Star Wars project in the future, I'm always excited for. So
So you like music, right?
I do. I love music so much, and I wish I had a degree in music theory so I could make videos about music, but I simply cannot speak on the subject because I know nothing technically, but that's like all I listen to, and I collect vinyls, and yeah, I love music.
What like okay.
Sorry, say that again.
What vinyls do you have so far? If you have, I bet you have a
Oh,
bunch, but
vinyls,
if you can
yeah.
name a few
It's
that you,
getting bad.
yeah, but like how about game
Oh yeah.
vinyls? Is there any game vinyls?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have so oh my gosh. I have so many, too many. It's like a compulsion now. I'm like buying them and I'm not even thinking. I'm just it's so bad. Um
You gotta take a picture and send it to us.
it's like yeah, I will. Okay, I recently got the Sea of Thieves, like they reprinted at I am 8-bit. Like a triple LP vinyl. I've got that. Witcher, Last of Us, Red Dead. I'm like looking at them right now. Let's see. Oh, Outer Wilds, best music ever in a video game, and I've got that the DLC vinyl. Like I got the pre-order, so that should be shipping soon. There's something I was really excited about music wise is I found at a record shop in like Arkansas randomly on a trip the complete Fallout 76 like a colored collection vinyl, which has been sold out. I've been trying to get that, and it was there, and it was in pristine condition, like literally not played. And so I was super excited about that.
The fact that you found that, because I love the Fallout
Yeah,
music. Oh my
it's so
gosh.
good.
You like the game
I
itself?
do.
Like the
Yeah, it's
series?
like I'm not gonna defend it or say it's like good or anything, but I love Fallout 76.
I I love Bethesda games, even though it's always super
Hmm.
quirky. You know what I mean? I will always love Bethesda games.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Starfield especially
Um,
was just incredible.
it blew my shit away. Like I loved.
Yeah, I love it.
I just downloaded the DLC. I've not played it, but I'm gonna get right to that whenever I get around it because I still have Star Wars to go, and I don't know how long that
Oh yeah.
takes. But you finished it, right?
Yeah, Outlaws you're talking about?
Yeah,
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 if you
yeah.
just mainline it, it's like I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 hours. If you do a lot more though, you could probably play like 50 hours or something.
I'm probably not gonna do that because Pandora. Oh, yeah, you know
Oh,
it too. That was long.
oh, that was so
But,
long, and VP always makes every game longer, especially if the game's like really pretty.
oh,
So
dude, for sure.
yeah,
It's such. I think, in my opinion, it's probably one of the most gorgeous games
I
of its
agree.
year,
I
for
totally
sure.
agree. Pandora, I love that game so much. I had such a good time on that game.
Me too. I honestly haven't played the DLCs just because I'm like, I have to get moving with this other
Yeah,
little
yeah,
list
no,
that I
same.
have here.
I'm waiting to come back to it when I've kind of wrapped up some other stuff.
But let's see. All right, so let's get to Turds questions. Is there an aspect of VP that you miss in real life photography?
Aspect of VP I miss? Yeah, for sure. I think as silly as it sounds, it's honestly the ability to, freeze time essentially, and it be on your own pace. Because in VP, it's really nice to spend a morning honing in on a location or a portrait and just experimenting and like trying different angles and the free cam, like just being able to go everywhere and anywhere and see what works. Because you can take like a bunch of photos and then be like, you know what, this doesn't work. In real life, and I'm speaking specifically to weddings, just because that's like a lot of what I do, there, you sadly cannot freeze time, and weddings move so fast, just unbelievably fast. And you maybe have a couple minutes per location to try and get this shot, and there's not a lot of experimentation. It's just a lot of like trial and error, and then every wedding you do after that or every project you do after that, you're more prepared, and you somewhat know like, okay, this will be successful. So yeah, I would love to be able to just completely freeze time if I could at a wedding, but that is not currently available.
Those wedding photos, they just left me in awe.
Thank you. Yeah,
They're just so bright and
I
beautiful.
love doing it. It's so fun, and I've learned a lot about framing and um, stuff like that from virtual photography. Like I know a lot of people think like, oh, it's just like you can do it for fun, and of course that's true as well. But more importantly, virtual photography can teach you to be a photographer. Like I truly believe that.
Oh, that is sick. You believe so?
Yeah, completely. Like as insofar as like as framing, I mean, you'd have to learn tools on the camera you're using, and I think a lot of photography is people skills too. So that those are separate, but it and like framing and what works as like a cinematic kind of feeling shot, and then editing on top of that. I think you could learn a lot. I would like I have gotten more out of virtual photography than I got out of like a college photography course. And I'm not joking. I am completely not joking about that.
That doesn't surprise me just because I did the same. Like for me, I discovered that I liked it through VP, and then I'm like, all right, let's just try it out and see it. what it is out there. So I started taking photos of flowers and landscapes, and it's vastly better than what I used to take bullshit pictures on my
Hmm.
phone before that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I do agree. Like, and then you have all these people in the community that do actually have backgrounds and then can help you, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that.
Yeah. Totally.
So I wanted to ask, can you tell us some more about your experience as a museum video producer and how it influences your work in weddings and portraits?
Yeah. I've been capturing like art even before I worked at my current job at at this museum I work at for many years even before I got that job. So uh, capturing art is I think it really has taught me a lot about like interior like spatial awareness and I think a lot of the stuff I do at work comes over into like inside of games like I don't know like I've become very interested in like interior design and how things are laid out and how to best capture that as well. So I think that's kind of where the crossover is. A lot of the stuff I do for museum, like video wise, is a lot of promotional stuff. So it's short form. So what I do like with VP, especially in my YouTube area, is kind of a resistance to that because I don't love short form content. I think it's very like surface level. And I like longer form stuff. And
Right.
so um, it's good for that, but yeah. Although I do a lot of artist interviews as well. And so that's fun. Although I don't really know how that directly helps like anything I'm doing with VP other than just general like experience with a camera. But I do love it. It's just different though, and I like that difference. I think it keeps me like, interested in camera and filmmaking.
You said interior,
Mhm.
right? I was thinking about your video on Hogwarts and how you're talking about the interior things of the castles and stuff. So that did cross over.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, and Hogwarts too is like that was sort of a perfect that felt so at home because Hogwarts is like a museum. And so being inside there, and like taking shots and man, I want to do another playthrough of that because I want to experience that photo mode properly. Um yeah, yeah, that definitely, yeah, that has it depends on the game. I think Deathloop, I know I've brought that up a million times. It also has like interiors that have more of a like design focus. And so when you have games like that, I think it really uh that experience plays into it a lot more than something like, Pacific Drive, which doesn't really have a lot of like interior
Right.
design. Which I love Pacific Drive. I'm just saying, it's kind of a different thing.
I think what was it like the Final Fantasies or kind of like that? The whole castles
Yeah, I've only
being
played
I don't know,
two
or that's more so or
or three.
I think I'm thinking about Final Fantasy 15 maybe. I think.
So 16 had like a
But
ton
anyway,
of castles and interiors and whatnot.
did you like the game?
No, 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 but
You did
no, we shouldn't get into
it.
that. I've got a video if anyone's interested, but it's that.
Tell me, no,
It,
no, 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 tell me.
I actually I hated Final Fantasy 16. The photo mode I thought was fine. Like I thought it was pretty looking, but I, I cannot believe so many people liked that game. I think it's one of the most dated feeling. Like people complain about Ubisoft games, and that game was like a 2010 Ubisoft game to a T. It was, I'm gonna make people hate me though because I know a lot of people like that game. Everyone like what you like. It's that I'm not. Everyone's got their own opinion. So
No, dude, it's fine. I'll just say it out loud. Like when it comes to Horizon Forbidden West, I should say I fucking hate that
really,
game. Like the story.
that's
I don't like the story.
wow. That's so
I think,
funny.
but I will say everything about it though, like when it comes to graphics, how Aloy looks, I love the NPCs, everything is gorgeous, but I felt like the story was weak to me. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the next game, because I'm always gonna play like the next. Horizon games just because the first one just stole my heart.
So,
But the
oh,
second
that's
one, I'm
so
like poo
interesting. You
water.
liked the
So
first, but not the second. That's
yeah,
so funny. I
yeah.
had the opposite where I couldn't get into the first. I did end up playing it and liking it, but it took me maybe 3 years after it came out to like finally get in the flow. But then when Forbidden West came out, um, I was just like, oh man, this feels so much more my jam. I don't know what it was. That's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I don't know. And then it took me about a year to finish it, just because I just hated the story.
Dang.
No, I'm not gonna say everything about it I hated, right? There's some parts of the story where I think was interesting. Like I like the DLC, but yeah, no. So definitely understand. Like, hey, there's all these popular games that people like. There's gonna be us that we're not gonna like it, and I feel like that should be respected
Yeah.
still. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
think the biggest thing for me about like liking a game or not is come at it with if you want to talk about why you don't like it, talk about it like
Right,
intelligibly and like with actual backing of like here is like structurally
right,
why I do not like it. But you should always end with like, but hey, if you vibe with it, that's awesome because all I care about is that
right.
if that game meant something to one person, then it did something. It meant something. I think too much like the talk and especially like with, Ubisoft and games like that, it's just like an instantaneous like and Concord too, where it's like F this game, F these developers, I hope it dies, I hope it fails. Why, and it's just like, oh my God, the volatility is insane. Like, you do not have to like it. But if you're not going to talk critically about why you don't, maybe just don't at all.
The dog shit game, right? Like
Yeah,
just
it's
like
just like
that.
the I'm
It's
like,
like, oh,
what is going
calm down,
on? My
you guys.
God. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
no. Like, cause what was it? What's it? Okay, so like the Fallout games. Oh, there's two different people, right? Whether they people think it's just incomplete game,
Hmm.
right? And the other side where people just love the story. And I'm like, I fucking love the quests. They're quirky and fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I could deal with the bugs, but like some people cannot,
Yeah.
you know, because there's a lot of it. But I think that's kind of endearing to me. I mean, look, it probably won't be to other people though.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm the same way there. But yeah, I definitely know there are people who are like, oh my God, like Fallout, Starfield, all that, like not good. So, yeah. All right.
okay, let's see. Let's get to let's see. How do you think your passion for gaming and virtual photography complements or influences your work as a museum video producer? Does it?
Hmm. I think just it's sort of in the same way that I mentioned earlier of just like I do think VP um specifically just it really can teach you a lot about like spatial awareness, cinematic framing, that kind of stuff. Gaming in general though,
Hmm.
mm, not so much with the museum like just because there's not a lot of like gaming related stuff going on at the museum. It's a museum of art. I should mention, and it'd be cool, but I don't know to what degree like gaming and museums have come together or would come together. I think it'd be cool, but yeah, there's not really a lot of crossover, sadly. I wish I worked at a gaming museum.
Just that would be
Mm.
cool. Imagine a museum full of art. It's art, like concept
Oh,
art
that'd
and
be
stuff
so
like that.
sick. That'd be so sweet to do like a virtual photography exhibit, although I don't know how rights work with like, if you own, who owns the picture? Is it the studio? Is it the photographer or the VP? I don't know. That might be kind of dicey, but that'd be cool.
I I would love to see something like that. I guess you would have to just have the studios be there present, be like, yes, you are allowed to do that,
Right. Yeah.
or something. I don't know. So oh, if you had an opportunity to work on a production of a video game, what role would you choose and why?
I really and I've honestly like I've looked into these jobs. I would love to be a community manager somewhere. I think because of my experience like with VP, like in that digital space, I have like a good understanding of just like the vibes online, which I really like. And I also think
Right.
I find myself I think I'm a good communicator. Like I like to jump into the fray and talk to people and relay information. So yeah, I would love to be a community manager on any game really, but you know maybe a Star Wars game. I don't know if I had to pick.
You love Star Wars,
I
don't you?
do. Yeah, I love. Yeah, I would. Yeah, Star Wars is like a yeah. That's like a main.
Did you like Survivor?
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, that's to this day my favorite Star Wars game. I think it's incredible.
Oh man, I loved. I don't know if everybody played it, but there's gonna be spoilers. I loved whenever he was just s- closely getting to the dark side. I'm like,
Oh
yes, do it.
yes, and I'm wondering like, are we gonna get
Remember
more of
that?
that in the final game? Like,
I kind of want it. I want him to like sort of fall off the road a little bit. You know
hmm
what I mean?
like,
That'd be kind of
give me
cool.
some Force lightning abilities. I don't know. That's what I want.
Yeah, like imagine the lightning. How, like we never had that before, have we?
Force
I don't know.
Unleashed. You had like Force lightning.
Oh,
So,
see, I would love them to do a remake on
oh,
that.
me too. I would love that. Get Sam Witwer back in. That'd be great.
Do you know if that one was supposed to be canon or not? Like
Um, I think when it came
his
out,
story?
yes, but after Disney bought it, it was like, nah.
Boo to
Yeah,
say.
I know. I'm like, dang
What
it. Oh well.
do you think about Disney like owning the rights to like Star Wars?
Hmm. Um, in some areas it's cool. Like, Disney has money, so they can put a lot behind things, but I do think Disney's handling of Star Wars has been uh shaky at best. I think the trilogy, I think the fact they didn't have a direction and a story outline for the Ray trilogy was very unfortunate because, it started off strong and then you get it tossed back between two directors who have different visions. And you have no overarching like goal. That was weird. I thought Andor was great. I've liked Mandalorian for the most part. I actually really liked The Acolyte. I think the acting could have been a hit and miss, but I thought The Acolyte was actually quite fantastic. Um, and yeah, I don't know, and it's cool that like Star Wars is at Disney parks. Like I've been there, and that's a really cool experience. But I don't know. I think they could be doing a lot better.
I wonder if that's how people feel with like the Marvel games or movies and stuff. I used to like Marvel, but not so much anymore. I think they're just shitting them out like
Hmm.
carelessly. I want to say like I don't feel like there's a lot of umph to it anymore. Like I don't look at them and like superheroes used to be like my thing for a
Yeah.
while. Not anymore though. Anyway, that's going off topic.
Yeah.
So, how do you see the future of single player exploration games evolving, and what innovations do you hope to see in this genre?
Hmm. What innovations? I don't know. I don't often think a lot about like gameplay innovations. I mean, I think I notice them when I see them. I think games like Elden Ring and uh, what I'm wanting to say Breath of the Wild, which is kind of true, but I mostly mean Tears of the Kingdom. I think looking at games like that and having open world games be a bit more loose in terms of their structure is nice. I don't know though, because sometimes I do just want that sort of Ubisoft, like, hey, here's the objective, like, go go do that, and I just kind of like that. Um, I don't know. I would like to see a bit more organicness. Actually, I think Ghost of Tsushima is a good example of this. How it does have that kind of open world Ubisoft feel where there are like map objectives, but in terms of how you experience the world as it unfolds before you, whether it's through the wind or a fox or a bird leading you to a location. I like that kind of, organic invitation to explore. I think that's interesting. I would like to see more of that. But also, and I've said this on multiple of my videos, I like the Ubisoft structure. I could probably play those games till I die, and I'm not even kidding. So, I'm fairly easy to please when it comes to that kind of thing. I'm more interested in the beauty of a world. I don't really care how it is structured or how the gameplay is, whatever, that can make it better or worse. But I'm like, is it visually, pleasing? It's funny. I had a comment on my one of my videos. I think it was my outlaw video maybe, where someone was like, they were like, all you talk about is visuals. No one cares. How is the gameplay? And A, I thought that was funny, but B, I was like, it is telling. Some people really they care about gameplay. They don't care about visuals. They're not stopping like a lot of VP people are and looking at the details of a market in Star Wars. I'm doing that and I value that, but I know a lot of people don't. So, as long as we have variety, then great. If they both come together, even better. But yeah, I'm kind of fine with uh, how it is, I guess.
Right. Some people are just completionists and they want to know if things run smoothly with
Yeah.
mechanics and things like that. And although, like, I do get that, whenever we become virtual photographers, I feel like the gameplay has changed, like, a lot. Like, the way you look at things, the
Yeah.
way you wonder how long something or who makes these small
Yes.
details, right?
Yes.
Especially, like, with, let's say, Hogwarts and the fucking, like, the way they stylize the windows and things like
Yes.
that. No one's going to really people are going to look at him like, oh, that's pretty, and then keep going, right?
If even that. I mean, you'll have people
So,
just sprinting to the next objective. And that's why games like Ubisoft, who are like, here's where the objective is, it doesn't bother me because I'm like, I'm not just going to beeline it to the objective. I'm going to, you know, stop. I'm going to look at the details. I'm going to investigate, so it is a different experience. And I'm very grateful to be interested in this kind of thing because I do think anyone who's a virtual photographer just gets to enjoy the little things a lot more than people who might just be like, let's just beat the game. So, yeah.
right. And that feeling whenever you actually get the shot in the game that you love, it's it feels like a shot of dopamine.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like when you
Like, yes,
snap it
this is it.
and you're like, that is money right there. I love it. Yeah.
Do you ever feel that way with your photography
Oh
too?
yeah. 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 I mean, at every and also I haven't said anything thus far. While I do photograph a lot of weddings, I actually am more so a wedding videographer. Although I've done a ton of photos as well, but just in terms of that, there is like the moment on video when I'm filming and there's a reaction or a tender moment between the couple, something, and the shot is perfect, the color is perfect. It's just like, yes. And so, and that's in VP too, where you can just see it and it's like, oh, that's good. I love it. And yeah, I love those moments.
Uh, you got to share that though, like your favorite one to me. I have to ask, have you played GTA by any chance? Five?
Yeah, five. Yeah.
Okay, so have you ever messed with a Rockstar editor?
No, I haven't, and I've heard of it, but I don't even have a clue what it is, to be honest. Like, is it like a capture tool or?
So
Okay.
yes, I'm gonna show you somebody that I admire. She makes the most craziest
Hmm.
videos into these things, like gaming videos, but you could also do VP. It's like, yes, so it's a tool to do videos and take pictures and do things like that. And it's old. Like it's what, 10, well, how old is GTA
Yeah,
5?
it's
It's
been
been
around
there
for
for
a long
many
time.
years. So, and I've seen some of the sickest shit when it comes to videos, and that might be something you want to do even for the next GTA 6 game,
Yeah, that's
or even now with GTA
it.
5.
Kind of sounds
Uh-huh.
like the Fortnite. So, like, can you just like go in and like capture like, it's for like content creation, basically. Like you can capture video and
Right. So what can happen is what happens with GTA is like so you go into GTA Online or even the story, you record whatever you want to record, right?
mhm.
Whether it's intentionally or not. And then you extract that to the video editor in game, and then you can mess with it, edit it out, transition it. Very, very cool
That's
stuff.
cool. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now online. Yeah, this seems a lot like a little bit more in depth, but yeah, kind of like the Fortnite thing where you can sort of go back and capture content that you did. That's cool. I love when people add tools like this.
Yes, and I don't think I hear it being talked about much. So I really would love to see what you do with that because I know you like videos.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems right up my alley. Like total kind of video editing vibes. This is cool.
Well, GTA 6 is coming out soon, so I bet you that's gonna look better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure it will.
So let's see here.
Does that editor work on
How
Red
has
Dead?
virtual
Sorry,
photography?
I was going back to the editor.
You know what? No, no, we could talk about that for sure because it's like one of my favorite things. No, they don't. That's what's
That
uh
is a travesty.
awful.
Oh,
Like, and everybody who is into that begged for Rockstar to put it because I mean, how long does it take for one of them or a couple of them to implement that in there? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's so Red Dead
Billions of
gets
dollars.
snubbed at
Rawr.
every freaking turn with Rockstar. They do not give. And Red Dead to me is like at least 100 billion times better than GTA, and that's an accurate number I'm giving you. So, um,
I know it
yeah,
is. And the way you fight, you ever fucking like fist fought somebody
yeah.
in that
Oh,
game? It's
it's brutal.
awesome.
Yeah, Red Dead,
Dude,
man. What a what a great what a great game, both of them.
they should have put something like that in there just because people role play pretty hard in that
Yeah.
game. You know what I mean? And they could have put like, imagine the Western type
That's what I'm
like
saying is like
videos.
Western is much more acclimated to being like, cinematic and creating content like that than like I don't know. I'm such a like Red Dead stan compared to GTA. Like uh, yeah, dang, they should add that.
No, I understand because there's some moments where I'm like, dude, if we had like a video editor, it would be
Yeah.
first you would give the game more money,
Yeah.
right? Because people are like, oh, I want to do that too. Same
Yep.
thing.
Exactly.
So
Sorry.
I get so hyped up about it because it's one of the best tools that we have in game.
Yeah.
Rawr.
Yeah.
Up in arms about that shit. But anyway, let's get to the next thing. How has virtual photography enhanced your experience in games like Outer Wilds, God of War, AC Valhalla, and The Witcher? Can you share any specific virtual photography moments from these games that left a lasting impression on you?
Yeah. Well, for Outer Wilds, even though that's like maybe my favorite game ever, it doesn't even have photo mode,
That's
sadly.
the Bethesda version, right?
No, 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 no.
Right?
That's Outer Worlds. I know it's
Worlds.
like that's
Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad.
Obsidian like made a space game. Yeah, Outer Wilds is like a smaller indie game that's like I couldn't even talk on it. It's you just play it. Everyone should play it. It's just amazing. I wish it had VP a lot. Although I did some video content with that for a video I did. The other games though, I mean, virtual photography. Well, we kind of touched on with like it makes you slow down. It makes you appreciate details. I mean, I have found like um, developers, like concept artists and model artists who uh, created items, like specific items. I found them online, and just it's a cool thing to be able to appreciate someone's work on that micro detail. And virtual photography certainly does that. Like I remember in Jedi Survivor, I got so obsessed, and he was even like the cover of my video because I loved him. Turgle from Jedi Survivor, the absolute G, and I want a statue of him. Like I need a statue of him like now, and I love him so much. He's like one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. And the guy who like
Yeah,
modeled
put them on
him,
top of your house.
the guy who modeled him like is on Twitter, and I just thought that was so cool to like discover people and their work. So yeah, it just really makes you appreciate the world and all that goes into it.
Whenever you talk about this, I love the passion that you bring, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love it. I love VP and I love video games. I have such a high degree of respect for all of it.
Do you think, have you always had that with games, or did you feel like the passion
I have always had
became a
it.
little bit
Like
more with BP?
I've been playing games honestly like as long as I can remember. Like I probably was playing on the PS2 and N64 like when I was like 5. And but I do think it wasn't till like college when I started to think more critically about just art and stuff in general that I became really like I would, I mean, not argumentative, but almost a bit like abrasive about it, where I'm like, no, like games are like if anyone like makes comments about games, I've got maybe some in-laws who are like video games, like, and I get it, like they don't know and they only maybe see certain things of like, you know, stuff that is just like that seems mindless, but I'm like, no, no, like video games are it's so much more, and I'll get into it with people because I'm like, you can't write it off as just some like stupid time waster because it's really not. I had like an in-law who was like
Right. Think about,
talking about football, or they watch football a lot. Like every weekend they watch football. I have no interest in sports, but they do. And so they were like, "Oh, like video games, like," and I'm like, "But what is so different about you sitting on your couch and watching a sport that actually has nothing to do with you?" And I'm not trying to like bash on sports. I'm just framing it. What's different about that compared to people sitting down and like engaging in a world or something like that? And it really made them rethink. And they're like, "Oh, I guess I never thought about it that way." Like da da da. So I think people just don't always think that. Yeah, it can be a lot more to people.
I th that argument was always really weird to me. Maybe because back then, like games were just, it looked mindless, but when they see games like The Last of Us or Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah.
like like even these old timers, if they would just see just like the cutscenes to Red Dead Redemption, they'll just cry.
Yeah.
Like,
It is. It's
you know what I
it's a
mean?
whole. I mean, I think anyone who like would badmouth like games as like some lesser form of media, I think they really just haven't seen what's out there, or if they have, maybe they literally just think it's like a TV show or something. I don't know. Um, but if you critically talk to someone about games now and show them what's being developed and the kind of stories and acting we're getting out of it, it's not even it's really not a discussion. It is just like, yeah, it's an amazing like narrative form of media.
Right. Hey, I was gonna ask, does like your wife know about your VP? Like, does she know like how like
Oh,
super passionate you are
oh
about it?
yeah, oh yeah. I'm always showing her stuff. Like I've got I like pull them up and I'm like, check this out. And my wife games too. She doesn't do VP, but actually she has done some VP when I asked her to, and it's hilarious. I should do a video on that actually.
Yes, it's fucking hard to like at first, like it's so strange because
Yeah.
it's like what do you call? There's so much going on, but I hope she keeps doing it. By the way, tell her to keep doing
Yeah, I don't know
it.
if she loves it the same way, but she loves gaming and she like, she'll every once in a while get a single player game too that she totally falls in love with. Like she played Assassin's Creed Odyssey so much. Like she loved that game. Just like, yeah, she loved that game.
That is my favorite game to do photography. By the way, that's like the first game I ever did of BP as
Ah,
well.
it's such a great game to
But I
shoot.
still think it's one of the
Yeah.
best. I really do. The photo mode is simple, but it's so user friendly,
Yep.
and it does whatever all the things that I just need. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. It really is. Actually, I might be able to drop I might be able to drop a photo she's taken in Odyssey. You can keep talking. I'm just gonna pull this, see if I can pull it up on my hard drive
Yeah, dude.
because
You know
it's
what?
very good.
You gotta show it to me. There's something I wanted to ask because you mentioned it in a video, and I think with one of the answers you gave me to one of your questions in through DM, it's what was it? I lost it. No, hold on. It was a good one. It was a. Let me just read it. I have so much questions for you. Oh my God. Okay, what are your thoughts on the current trends and controversies in the game industry, such as paid cosmetic and season passes? How do you factor?
Oh man.
How do these factors impact photography within games?
Oh wait, say
They,
that. Sorry, say that last part just one more time.
uh, where was it? How do these factors impact photography within games? But if you don't want to talk about that part, it's
Mm,
fine.
yeah, I'm not sure how they impact virtual photography. The only thing I can think of
I don't think they do.
specifically is like there's like on Assassin's Creed Shadows or something, there's like a filter with the deluxe edition. And like I don't care about filters, so I'm completely unbothered by it. But if someone really does care about filters, uh, I think that's really lame to lock stuff like that, like creative stuff, behind paywalls. That's particularly odd to me.
That would be ass. Like if I think that would only be pissed if like PhotoMode something they had to buy, I guess. But I would.
Yeah. Oh my God. If a photo mode was ever like a purchasable thing, I don't even think I would play the game. I would be like, that's utterly disgusting, but okay. Um, all this stuff in general, though, I think my views on it are a bit off the norm because I know there's a lot of people who don't like paid cosmetics, who don't like battle passes and season passes, and I can't say it blanketly because, it depends on like the game, I guess, or like how it's rolled out. But I usually really don't have a problem with a lot of that kind of stuff because to me, I'm like, okay, especially if the game is free, so like Fortnite or whatever, Overwatch, um, paid stuff, I'm like, yeah, do it. Do it as much as you want. You have free reign. You've made the game free and the gameplay is free. So like you're not paying for like better guns or anything like in Fortnite. It's just cosmetic. I'm like, do it. Go hard. Like if people want to pay to support and keep this game going while also getting a cosmetic, do it. I buy Fortnite cosmetics all the time because the way I see it is sort of like an old school World of Warcraft subscription. It's like you pay 15 a month to play this game. So, but this is completely optional. You actually don't have to pay ever. But for the people who do, it funds the game, it keeps it going, and Fortnite's been strong for a while. When it comes to season passes, I also really usually don't have an issue with that. So, like, people always say, like, oh, these Ubisoft games are $130. Like, they withhold content and then they make you pay $130. That is just so deeply inaccurate. It just is. And like you can get a huge game out of just paying, this the $70 Ubisoft game. Like Outlaws, that is a huge game regardless of DLC. If you want more, you can pay for more. Again, totally optional. You're not going to miss out on like it's not like they're locking the ending of the game behind DLC. So I'm sure other people have different opinions on that, but for me, as someone who likes big games, I loved Valhalla. It's my favorite Assassin's Creed. All those DLCs, I played all of them. I got every trophy in all of them. I love big stuff like that. So I'm going on for a while, but yeah, I really don't have a lot of problems. Now, I do take some issue with like Ubisoft charging for uh, outfits, like in Valhalla, you could like buy cosmetics. I don't like that because it's like we did already buy the game. Content is one thing, like DLC, but cosmetics, I'm like, that feels a little icky. Although they've been doing that a lot less. Like, I don't even think in Outlaws you can buy, like, there's not a shop. Am I wrong about that? I don't think there's a shop where you can buy cosmetics.
Mm, I don't think so. Just maybe just outfits, right?
There's a
That's it.
deluxe
For like
edition
in
that
game.
comes with something, but you're not like, uh, yeah, you're not like going in a shop. So maybe they've been toning that down, which is good. But yeah, those are my kind of my views on it. I know people have some pretty intense views on it, but yeah, that's kind of my thought.
That's I think that was a it's a very fair thought, by the way. Because I do agree. It's only whenever I think I just disagree is whenever things are becoming like more more sinister, kind of like let's say if we did have to pay for photo mode, or it would suck if you need to get to this next level, you would have to pay for it. I think that's when it'll get kind of dicey,
Oh yeah.
which I don't think they'll ever do. I don't think so, but that's something that I would disagree on.
Yeah, and I mean, I know some people argue like, well, if you let them get away with one thing, then they'll push it further. But where we're at right now, I don't feel that annoyed by it. And I do think Ubisoft heard the complaints about like Valhalla and Odyssey of them having all these outfits and stuff. Even in Avatar, which did have a shop, they had like such limited selection. And I really do think internally the devs and then also just hearing from like fans of the games be like, this is gross. We really don't like it. We don't want to engage with it. I think I'm hoping that they are toning that down a bit. So yeah.
But you know what? When it comes to Ubisoft, I think for me the games are feeling like they're getting better each time.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Outlaws especially has a lot of like interesting, more like organic focused gameplay where it's not always telling you exactly where something is or how to do it. And I think a lot of people discounted the game because they're like, "Oh, it's just the Ubisoft slop." Um, but yeah, no, I think they have started to learn some things, and actually, Avatar in particular was really good at that. Like, you can have an option to where it's more, and I think Valhalla had this too, um, where you're not told where everything is, that it kind of does it, like you almost have to look for it more.
Right, right. And you know there was so many different little things from Avatar that if you missed it, you missed
Hmm.
it. And one of them the was like the wind ones. I don't
Oh
know if you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
talking about. Like you have to adjust the wind.
yes, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I feel like that's easily missed if you don't find them.
Yeah, yeah, and I like that kind of stuff. It's just like it's real life, you know. If you don't get to it all, you don't get to it all.
And you know what I realized with the Ubisoft? At least the folks who are around that, they are so interactive
Yeah,
and they love what they did in each game. Like especially Avatar and Outlaws. They're really interactive,
yeah, yeah. The passion is
I
there, and
think.
and that's why I'm always, again, you don't have to like a game, but when you just completely slander a game as being like, total trash, or like, F this game, I hope it fails. It's like, man, there's so many people who like really, really worked on this. And that's not an excuse to be like, buy the deluxe edition and play the whole thing. Again, you don't have to buy it, but it's all about like the tone of it. We should try our best to uplift people who are actually being creative and doing work, instead of just like smashing the whole thing.
But I think that's the thing about Twitter though. Twitter is such a it can be such a negative place. Outside VP, I try not to mess with that
Yeah,
because it really is the Wild West,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, it is. It can be hard to, yeah, to be behind it.
Right?
Also, I just dropped
Let's see.
photos that
Oh,
my wife took in
let me
AC
see. Let me see.
Odyssey. Enjoy all that, guys.
In the
Yeah.
comments, let's check it out. Let's check it out. The falling course. What is that? That looks like poop or
Oh, that
something.
was a giant. That was like the Cyclops that she killed. If
I
that's what,
love
yeah.
it. The burnt man.
Yeah, she often took photos of her, like when she like killed one of the cultists. She would like throw him on a fire and take photos.
She's the best,
I,
by
I
the
also
way.
love her use of frames. She really likes the frames in photo modes. I'm always like, I never use frames, and she's like, I love them. So yeah,
I
they're
love
great.
them. Tell her that her photography is the best and she needs to do more of
Okay,
it.
I will. I'm gonna tell her.
Just to listen back to this. Oh, you know what? When it comes to frames, I will say that I do love Odyssey's framing. You know that white frame that looks like a for painting or border? That's like my favorite border to use, or the
See, I
black
don't
one.
even know because I never even open frames.
How wrong of you? See that you're wrong.
Because
So you got to go back and do it.
I'm like, I don't know, like I feel if I like the picture a lot, it just like detracts. Like if at the very least I would take one with and one without, just so I had the original.
I'll show you. I'll show you some of mine in a little bit. But
Okay.
I have some fun questions for
Yeah.
you. Ready to go?
Yeah.
So okay, Turin as popcorn, sweet or salty?
Oh my gosh. Probably salty, but I do love sweet as well. So
It's the vibes. You know what I
yeah.
think? Is sweet is like in the holidays for me.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's nothing like bundling up with some classic popcorn on the couch. So yeah.
Right? Theater popcorn's the best though. Oh
Oh
my god.
yes. No doubt.
Do you eat it with pickles or jalapenos, or is that just a
Oh
thing here?
whoa. No, I've never even heard of that. Wow.
You have to try that. And everybody does it differently, I think, in different
Wow.
states. But here we have it with like pickled jalapenos or a pickle.
Oh.
It's a good
Okay, I'm
combo.
gonna try that. I love jalapenos and pickles, so that sounds good.
You
Yeah.
do? Dude, trust me, you're gonna like
Okay.
that.
So do you just put it all in your mouth
And
at once?
you know what I do? It just depends because it depends if you like the mild one. You just put it on top of the popcorn, or you just after you put the popcorn in your mouth, you can just put it in your mouth, the jalapenos. But either way, you have to try it. My friend introduced me to that.
Wow, yeah, that you I feel I'm gonna do that today. That sounds really good.
It does, and honestly, like you'll never want to change it again. Like it's the best way to eat it. Let's see. What was it? If you could have a dinner party with these three video game characters, who would you invite and why?
Ooh, three video game characters. Oh my gosh. Well, definitely Turgle. I think Turgle from Jedi Survivor, I would definitely wanna have some
That's your boy, isn't
yeah,
it?
some pickled popcorn with or something. I don't know. That sounds good with him. Um, hmm. Maybe Antea from Banishers, although that conversation might get a little dark, but I don't mind.
That's interesting. I love an interesting dark
Yeah, it's
conversation.
like what let's talk. Hmm. Trying to think who else. Maybe oh, Juliana from Deathloop. Yep. I think Juliana and I would get on so well.
Why? Why do
I
you think
just I,
so?
I like her energy. I'm like I think you and I would I don't know. I think we would just like have great conversations and be very um I just think it would be so fun and I love her. I think she's such a cool character.
But so would they all three be in the same dinner
Yeah, I'd hope
table? Do you
so.
think they would
I
go well?
I would like that. Yeah. That would be very fascinating. But yeah.
Hopefully, no one kills each other.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty tame. Juliana is maybe the most questionable,
Think
but
so?
I think would be good.
Be all right. If you could have any superpower from a video game, what would it be, and how would you use it in real life?
Oh, it would be oh, you know what? We'll do a full circle. It would be the device from Dishonored 2 where you can or wait. Oh, what am I thinking? No, no, never mind. That doesn't really freeze time, I suppose. I was trying to think of a time freezing device for my weddings, what I was talking about, like wanting more time to shoot. Dang, any power. I guess. Oh man. Okay, you know what? Actually, we will go with that. Tracer's rewind ability. No, wait, that doesn't go through time though. That just takes her back to a location. Dang it, I'm not getting around this. Um, any power. Oh man. I mean, web slinging would be sweet, but that feels kind of cheap. Um, um, oh, you know what? Yennefer from The Witcher, she can open portals. I would love that because
Okay,
I
that's
don't
dope.
like plane rides, so it would be nice to open a portal to wherever I want to go and just go there.
Isn't it okay? I don't remember too much, but isn't it whenever you go through portal, you still have to like go through a world and then get to the destination?
I thought it was pretty instant, but maybe I'm no, I think it's instant in The Witcher.
Oh, you know what? I'm just thinking about series. I think Siri.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's what
her
she
yeah,
did.
because she was doing some. But yeah, the way Yennefer does it though, she can do it pretty instantly.
Dude, I fucking loved her in the actual series, the first season. Oh
Yeah,
man,
I liked her too.
I like that character,
Yeah, yeah, me too. I thought that actress did a good
especially the
job.
end. Oh yeah, I think so too. I don't know. I don't know how the next Witcher is gonna be, but I don't know if it's gonna be the same.
Yeah, yeah, that show's had an interesting, interesting sort of turn of events with actors and whatnot.
Here, what we'll do, Jack, is I'm gonna have the floor open to anybody who wants to ask you a
Okay.
question. We'll get 3 questions for you, and we'll see if anybody wants to join. Remember, Jack bites only just a little bit, not really hard. And while we wait, if you could create a video game based on your life, what genre would it be, and what would be your main objective?
Oh man, based on my life, I guess the game would just be like like a virtual photography simulator. I don't know. Like um like I guess it would be like open world, maybe with magic because I dig that. And you would like take photos of things um and you would there would have to be some kind of home building mechanic because I love home building mechanics in games. Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, do you like Fallout 76, by the
Oh
way? Like, do you
yes.
like the whole
Oh my
building?
gosh, yes, yeah. I probably spend more time on that than anything. I love it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like
You ever post a picture of your stuff?
I don't know if I've ever I don't know if I've ever posted a picture of my house. I should though. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, I think even like the Bethesda community will just fucking love it because they love that shit.
Yeah.
I can't get with the whole making or building shit. Yeah, my Minecraft houses are very square.
Hey, that's okay. A square home is that can be cozy.
My friends call it a hobbit house.
Yes, a Hobbit house all the way. Notoriously cozy places.
Well, how about this? Like, let's change the question. If you were to make a
Mhm.
game, what would it be about, and what would the objective be?
Ooh. Honestly, I think I would love to make a Loki video game, like Loki, the Marvel character. Um, and I'd want it to be open world, because that's kind of my favorite, but I would want it to be kind of like similar to God of War in terms of like you go to different realms and stuff like that. Um,
Oh
I
yeah.
think that would be really cool. And I think you could do a lot with like Loki's power set to make the magic and the combat feel really kind of unique. Like, I'm trying to think what an analog to that would be. Like, I don't know, maybe like something like God of War mixed with some of the cool magic in Forspoken. Like, I think that would be really fun. And I just love Loki. So that's a totally like just, that's like dream game. But yeah.
I think that's a perfect game. And if you do make it, you have to let me know when you start.
Okay, I will, and there definitely will be a photo mode. Don't worry.
And I expect the photo to be best, literally.
To be the best.
Yes,
Oh,
literally.
okay. Well, yeah, it
Everything has to
will.
be in there that I want.
Everything goes in. Yeah, everything that's ever been will go in.
Okay. Last
Mhm.
question for you, man. Is any particular goals you want from being a virtual photographer?
Mm, I guess just to like just another outlet to be creative. Really, I don't. I don't have too many like expectations out of it because again, like when I made my channel and when I started all this, it's just like I really just want to do it because it pleases me. And I think that's why like what keeps me able to do it because I don't feel an expectation of like I need to hit a certain number or do this and that. I just, I want to enjoy it. I think like ideally it would be really awesome to grow the YouTube channel even more and it would be so cool to do this like in tandem with wedding uh, video and photography as like a part-time money earner. But that may be that may or may not happen. But either way, I'm really happy to have like found the people I have in this community and just see it do its thing. It's just really inspiring and very cool.
Honestly, I like that perspective. You're just having fun and enjoying the
Yeah.
process. Well, Jack, thank you for joining me. Oh my God, dude. I fucking love talking to you,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, thanks for. I was like so stoked to be invited to talk. When I first got on Twitter, like the photo mode was one of the first things I ever ran across. Oh, and I never know how to pronounce it, so I'm so sorry if I'm saying this wrong. It's is it Sarah Key? I feel terrible if I'm saying.
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was also one of the first people I ever like talked to on Twitter. And it was just kind of amazing to meet so many people who were so open to like giving me info about like I would ask people like, hey, like I saw like hashtags and I was like, what is this hashtag like related to VP? How can I get in on it? And people were so nice. And even beyond that, like again,
Gracious.
so sorry, say that again.
So gracious,
Yeah, I
basically.
mean, just no like from everyone I interacted with, there was no like, attitude or like trying to be like woe is me. It felt very open and and communicative and I just enjoy that. So yeah, and I really appreciate the photo mode for asking me to do this and all you do in general because the publication and the retweeting and just everything is so helpful and it's so cool to see people rally behind something we all love.
No, man, and we love getting a voice out to people who we know that deserves it, man. You're one of them, dude.
Thank you. That really means a lot.
Of course. Hey, man, you have the great rest of the morning, okay? And everybody that's here, thank you for
Yeah,
listening
I
in.
really appreciate it.
And hey, drop Jack a message if you have more questions for him.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, just how people were open with me. I'm like, if anyone ever has any question, specific or broad, I don't care. I'm super happy to talk. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye
See
bye.
ya.